The fifth round draw now looks like this. A lot of either-ors, of course, all sorts of replays. First pairing out of the hat could potentially be a big one. Chelsea against the winner of Shrewsbury and Liverpool. Manchester City have to go to Sheffield Wednesday. Manchester United on the road again against Northampton or Derby. Arsenal booking another trip to the south coast to take on Portsmouth. Now then, about that replay, Liverpool and Shrewsbury. Jurgen Klopp about the international break in April 2019, or rather the Premier League break, I should say. We got a letter from the Premier League where they asked us to respect the winter break, not to organise international friendlies and not to organise competitive games in respect of it. I've said to the boys already that we will have a winter break, so it means we'll not be there. It will be the kids who play that game. I know it's not very popular, but that's the way I see it. If the FA do not respect it, then we cannot change. Well, the FA responded themselves today, saying that prior to the start of the 1920 season, all clubs accepted that FA Cup fourth round replays, where required, would have to take place during the first week of the mid-season break, player break. Stevie, where do we go with this?
Well, I find it interesting to say, well, all the clubs knew that it was expected if the replays would go into there. So the clubs probably didn't want it, but had no choice.
Right.
So it's one thing for them to turn around and say, oh, by the way, any replays, that's when it's played. They didn't give the clubs a choice. They're coming out there as if everybody agreed, that's fine. Listen, at the end of the day, Klopp and Liverpool have to look after their own, because the FA are not going to do anything for them. You saw what happened with the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
Who helped Liverpool then when they had to play a game the day after the so-called World Club competition? So hold on a second, it goes both ways.
Well, they got a chance to move that though and didn't move it.
What do you make of the FA's response today, Craig?
But 1 second here. The FA moved the fifth round to accommodate the winter break.
They moved it later, didn't they?
They moved it a little bit later. They've also, I believe, brought forward, because the amount of English clubs that were in the Champions League late stages last year, they brought forward scrapping from the fifth round onwards. There's no replays. Right?
Yep.
Now, there's a couple of ways to look at this, though. Yes, the clubs knew about it, but if it was such a big problem, and Jurgen Klopp wanted to guarantee that break, play a stronger side at Shrewsbury. Can't he play a stronger side at Shrewsbury?
Well, hold on a second. Why should he go out his way to help anybody? He's looking after his players and his club.
Right, and the FA are looking after a competition which they've already moved a little bit.
I tell you what, they've done a great job of looking after it, by the way, because most teams don't give two hoots about it.
About what?
About the FA Cup. It's what, fourth in line. It's done the pegging. Top four, Premier League, Champions League. Oh yeah. By the way, we've got the FA Cup.
I can tell you from the perception of somebody who doesn't have ties with the FA Cup like you guys do, and historically you guys have participated in this competition, I can only say, if I'm looking at it from the outside, man, Liverpool essentially saying, we don't really care about this. We don't. It's way down there in the perception of how important, or lack thereof, this competition really is. And so if the effort is to try to make the FA Cup more important and more significant, and currently the most important team in the Premier League is saying it's not important enough for us, then, man, it just sends the wrong message altogether.
Klopp seems to be getting some heat himself for saying he himself is not going to be on the bench. He's going to
and I go back to that point. Listen, you talk about look after players. If you want the rest, play the strongest team. He brought Salah and some of the big guns on at the end, but it was too late, right? And at the end of the day, they were 2-0 up, right? They were 2-0 up. It's not anybody. It's not the FA's fault that Dejan Lovren can't even clear a ball that's right in front of him. The Liverpool captain, by the way. We've sat here, and rightly so, absolutely eulogised about Jurgen Klopp, right? And rightly so. He's done a magnificent job. However, in my opinion, if he wants to play the kids, that's fine. I don't care. That's his choice. But there's an opposing manager from the other team, from Shrewsbury, going to be there. A guy called Sam Ricketts. He's the manager. And out of respect for opposing managers, he should be on the touchline, in my opinion.
Right.
That's the only thing I agree with. I think that's
That Jurgen should be there.
Yeah, I think it's a little disrespect. The rest of it, I have no problem with it whatsoever.
Robbo, where do you stand on this? It's kind of sullied what was supposed to be a positive thing, isn't it?
Well, obviously the Premier League and the FA can't agree on anything. They couldn't get the dates quite right. But I don't think Klopp isn't interested in the FA Cup anyway. You saw that by the side that he put out against Everton, a Merseyside derby at home. And they still won the game because the youngsters played well, they played with enthusiasm and all that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, many managers in the Premier League, even in the Championship, don't worry about the FA Cup anymore. And it's a shame because it can be a great tournament. We can see some great games at times. Until it gets to the semi-final and final, as it is in the Carabao Cup, the teams don't pick the managers don't pick their strongest teams. And that's going to keep happening and happening and happening until more money's involved in it, because that's what it comes down to. There's not enough money in the FA Cup. It's a business. The Premier League becomes the most important thing. Top four becomes the next. The Champions League as well, as Stevie said. So the FA Cup just goes way, way down in importance.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.